All right, welcome everyone, and hello to everyone, whether you're in the Avestas Christian Nation or not. We're so happy to be hosting this, and we trust that it will be substantial value for you. Now, let me do a very quick introduction for the conversation. Well, what's our topic today? How to get remote job opportunities or how to land remote job opportunities. Now, this is a trend that is very common in our day, and we expect it to increase as the world become more and more a global village. And there are many other factors that even make it necessary to begin to look into this possibility of working on a global level where you're not necessarily having to show up physically at a location. Of course, you can work full time and be present on site. There is another kind of working where you work remote and you're basically doing your things, not having to be in a physical location of the business. There is also the third kind that is common in our day, which is hybrid. In that case, you have some time of working on site, on location, and some time of working virtually. Now, we are familiar from days gone by with the concept of having to put in an application and working in a particular location, and that is still present in our world today. It doesn't actually seem like that will go away completely. But the opportunity that being able to work without being physically present presents is something that everyone begins to pay attention to as more and more changes come to our lifestyle. It's not possible in our day to work in a company in Lagos without having to move there physically. Now, the company makes that possible, and my responsibilities can be carried out without having to show up physically. Now, this, however, is a new trend, at least in the last couple 5 years thereabout, that is increasing, especially skyrocketed by the e- experience of COVID, where people now have to work remotely more often. One advantage that this brings to us as Africans in Nigeria or in Nigeria is the fact that we are able to work in places where we can earn better because of foreign exchange conversions than we would typically earn in our immediate environment. Now, all of the benefits that this holds and the steps to go through in ensuring that we are viable candidates to be considered for such opportunities are the things we will cover today. We will try as much as possible to work within the ambits of time to ensure that we deliver the content necessary, and at the end of it, we'll jump as much as we can into a Q&A. Well, right on the call this day is our dear facilitator, whose name you can see right on your screen, Mrs. Oluwakemi Emmanuel. Mrs. Oluwakemi Emmanuel has a background in international relations, but has done interesting pivots in her career to do project management and being an administrative assistant. Well, she's coming up very briefly in a minute to tell you more about herself and, of course, help us understand her journey and how she's been able to secure roles. Well, we're not here for bluffs tonight. We just want to see exactly what are the steps to take. One thing I can guarantee you with is that by the time you're ending this call, you're going to have to do's. The question of what value this meeting would have been to you would really depend on what you do with what you learn. So, right in it now, let's welcome our dearest facilitator, Mrs. Oluwakemi. The lectern is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. John. It's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for everyone that's on the call. I celebrate everyone, and it's good to have you here. Okay, so without saying so much, let's just get straight to business, right? How to get remote job opportunities. And Mr. John has, done a lot of my introduction that I wanted to talk about why remote job, understanding the remote job market. But before I do that, I'll just briefly talk about myself. My background is international relations. I have a master's in peace and development studies. I want to work remotely, not just to work remotely, but I've always had a desire to earn in dollars. So now the question now is, how do I get remote jobs? So I took different trainees, product management. I left product management because I couldn't grasp it. I went to product design. I couldn't understand that. I'm not a creative person. So when it comes to design, I'm not good, right? But otherwise, I wasn't applying to on-site role. It got to a time, it was a sort of an issue between me and my husband because Even if I see an on-site role for 400,000, I never applied to it because I wanted to work remotely, even if it was within Nigeria. And I was able to get some couple of remote roles within Nigeria. I started with 70,000 naira within Nigeria. I got another one, 150,000 remote role, but I rejected it. Then it became compulsory for me to put so much effort into getting a remote role. Then I volunteered with a lady, Temitokbe Okesein. She was attending CEDAS. Now she's in the United States of America, volunteered as a virtual assistant. And that was the beginning of me entering into the remote space because she's so much about freelancing, how you can get remote job. I mean, she has trained as much as 70,000 people on how to get remote jobs. And she has an EdTech University of Freelancing. What we do there is to train people how to freelance, how to get remote jobs. So I was working with her as a virtual assistant. And because we would organize training for people, and as a VA, I was part of all the trainees. It was volunteering role. She wasn't paying me, but I was giving my best to it. And that was I entered into the remote space, and I was able to get, the jobs that I have at the moment. So I work as a project management with two companies in the United States of America. That is on a part-time basis, and I work as a full-time administrative assistant with Alacrity Solutions in the United States of America. So from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., I'm at work in my full-time role. All right, so now let's go to understanding the remote job markets. What is the remote job market? What does it mean to work remotely? Why remote work? Now, I would like to announce to everyone that there is a global remote work revolution due to the technological developments. Due to technological developments, you can connect with anybody from anywhere. There was a time that what we are doing now, we couldn't do it. There was no opportunity for that. But at the moment, we can connect with anybody. You can take over my screen now. I can take over your screen. During work, one of my colleagues was having an issue. He couldn't navigate on his screen, and we were in a meeting, right? Then the other person took over his screen, and he was navigating his screen. The guy is in the United States, and my colleague is in Nigeria. Yeah, he could navigate his screen. He could set up his Outlook from United States by just taking over his screen, because there are applications that allow you to do that. And we're going to get there. The applications that allow you to share your password with people without them knowing what the password is. So for instance, one of my clients that I work for, I have access to 56 accounts. I have access to a Canva, to a ChatGPT. 56 accounts. I don't know what the passwords are, but I can access them from here, like I'm the owner of it. That's what technology has done. And that is why remote work keeps, there's a demand, for remote work. And another revolution is that there is flexibility. Everybody wants to be flexible. It was flexibility that drove me to remote work. I don't want to work on site. I don't have the strength for that. I want to homeschool my daughter until she's 4. So if I'm working on site, I'm not able to do that. So at the moment, I homeschool my daughter at home. She's not going to school. I teach her at home myself. It's because I work remotely. That's why I can do that. So the demand for flexibility is making, remote work become, it's making the demand grow and grow. And there is a global talent pool. Organizations out in other parts of the world wants to employ from other parts of the world. They want to access the global talent pool. So United States, for instance, the company that recruited me for my role in the United States, we are 200 employees, all Nigerians. They recruited us for organizations in the United States of America. The company that I work with, that is Alacrity Solutions. We are 64 Nigerians working with that particular company. So organizations from other part of the world, they want to tap into that wider talent pool, and they want to get access, to that specialized skills that is available worldwide. And like Mr. John said, after COVID-19, organizations started seeing that it is possible for people to work remotely. My brother was working with EY before COVID-19. And when COVID-19 came, they all, everybody had to work remotely. After COVID-19 went, they did not invite them back to the office because they were paying so much for the office space. So they told every one of them, keep working remotely. And so COVID-19 has made it obvious to everyone that it is possible to work remotely and still achieve excellence. My organization, for instance, every Friday we do bonding online. Though we are not together, we are not able to bond physically, but every Friday night we play games, we do all of we do different things just to have a work-life balance. So this is just to let you know that there is a global remote work revolution. Now let's look at remote work statistic. As of 2023, 16% of companies worldwide have transitioned to fully remote work models. Remote productivity: 77% of remote workers report higher productivity when working remotely because you are comfortable. You're able, so your productivity will increase. You're not going through the stress of traffic, having to leave the house 5 o'clock just to make up for work. If I resume 2 p.m. and at times I just try to sleep, and I just set my alarm for 1:45, and I just stand up, put on my clothes, and I just go to my system and I just clock in. Good morning, I'm at work. I mean, I don't have to go through the stress of having to stay on the road and be on the road. And it's actually, it has increased my productivity. Now, projected future: by 2028, 73% of all departments are expected to have remote workers by 2028. So there is a growing trend in remote work. Benefits of remote work: I said earlier, flexibility, ability to manage your own time, higher earning potential. You can access higher paying jobs from international companies. You're able to earn more, and good for us in this part of the world. Due to the foreign exchange, we can earn more when we are earning United States dollars or the UK pounds, for instance. And you can work from anywhere. You can live in Nigeria and work for a company in the US, anywhere. You can be going out and you just, I have to do something, and just walk into a restaurant and you're working. So it just makes everything flexible. Now let's go, to the actual deal of the day, so that we can have time to really talk about these things. Now, when you want to, I believe that everyone here wants to work remotely. That is why you're here. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, do you have the skills? Do you have the type of, are you looking for the type of job that are in demand? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself, because it's not enough to say, I want to work remotely. You need to do a skill assessment. You need to do a career mapping. What skill do I have that I can offer remotely? What I'm doing at the moment, is it even available for remote opportunity? Because it is very, very important. That would then let you know, okay, how do I begin? And that is why I have put here popular remote job categories. Content creation. There is so much high demand for content creator. There is so much high demand for that. Content writing, administrative and virtual assistant. That is what I do. My background was international relations. I did masters in peace and development studies. I took a training in product management. I took another training in UI UX design. I've done all sort of training, but at the moment, I'm working as an administrative assistant because there is high demand for administrative assistants. In my department, for example, we are up to 20 administrative assistants that will work with Alacrity Solutions. So you need to look at that administrative and virtual assistant, and that is very good. For instance, you don't have to go take any training to say. You can just look at what you've done. Are you able to then analyze your skill, analyze your expertise, analyze your experience, right? And write them out. Okay, where does this fit in? Now, writing is a common job category for remote work. Blog writing, content writing. I have a friend that works as a content writer. She works for a lady in India as a content writer. And there was a time she got a contract job to write a content for $1,000. Copywriting is in high demand, when it comes to remote work. Anything that has to do with writing. So if you have a writing skill, if you're good in writing, I think it is time for you to start looking at on how to position yourself for remote opportunities, because there are a lot of opportunities in writing. Customer service, a lot of opportunities there. You can see it as customer support, customer success, customer representative, customer associate. Just today and yesterday, I saw two remote roles for customer service, $1,200 per month, right? I sent it to someone that I know that is interested in that. Then when it comes to IT and development, wow, there are a lot of opportunities in IT, cybersecurity, product management, data analysis, front end development, back end development, full stack, website development, a lot of opportunities in that because of the growing trend in technology. Because at the moment, there's any business that is not utilizing technology is not relevant. So every company, every industry, every business wants to be relevant. And so everyone is using one technology or the other. So there is a sort of demand for one technological skill or technological expertise. And all these, when it comes to all these tech skills, I mean, there is a growing trend in them. There was a growing demand in them. Cybersecurity, for instance, there was a growing demand for cybersecurity because cyber crimes are also growing, and there is a projected future that cyber crimes will grow. So companies are recruiting cybersecurity personnel because cyber crimes will grow. So there is a demand for that. And when we come to design, there is a demand for design. Talk of graphics design, talk of product design, anything that has to do with design branding, there is high demand for design as well. Then community management. If you have experience in community management, you should also look at that because organizations, companies are looking for community managers. Social media management, yeah, businesses want to be relevant. They want to build their online presence. And so they are looking for social media managers. So if you're a social media manager on this call, it's time for you to position yourself for remote opportunities, because there are remote opportunities for you. Digital marketing, yes, that's popular. That's popular. That's popular. SEO, search engine optimization. I mean, it's very, very, very popular. So I've listed all of these because this seems to be the sort of the quick way to get into the remote space, to get remote job opportunities. These skills listed here, they are in high demand. Now, what are the skills essential for remote work success? Technical skills. You need to, like I said earlier, you need to do a career mapping. You need technical skills, communication tools proficiency, project management skills, then the technical skills in your field. What are the skills that are in your field? I'm not a content writer. I'm not an SEO person. So, but the technical skills in my field as an administrative assistant, I had to build up on them because these are very, very essential. Then, effective communication. When you're working with these people, they don't joke with communication. Someone got a job with a company in Poland, $2,000 per month. And after 2 months, he lost the job. Why? He wasn't communicating. He is good, software developer, very, very good. He delivers his job on time, but he doesn't communicate on time. He doesn't respond. He doesn't respond to communication. And we're still going to talk about that. And so after 2 months, they had to stop his contract, and they sent him work tools from Poland. They sent him laptop from Poland, customized laptop for the job. They had to call it back. I mean, they had to tell him to send it back, and they stopped the job, $2,000 per month, just like that, because he wasn't able to communicate effectively. Then you also need to know the tools and softwares in your field. So let's say you are a graphics designer, for example. Okay, let me take customer rep, for example. What are the tools that are necessary in your field? You can't be interested in a customer service role and not know the tools that are relevant in your field. Now, we're not talking about the tools relevant in Nigeria. You have to consider the tools that are globally relevant for customer care representative. So, for instance, HubSpot, as a customer care, you need to know that CRM, what CRM can you use? If you're looking at the customer success, customer support, then you need to have an idea of CRM, right? So you need to make an analysis. What are the tools and softwares in my field? So when we talk about looking for opportunities for remote work, I tell you, it's not a child's play because it's going to require a lot of diligence from you. It's going to require a lot of research from you. You need to research the tools, the software that are relevant in your field. You need to research the skills that are important in your field. You need to research a lot because that is going to help you to position yourself effectively for these opportunities. Now, what are the essential tools for remote work? Zoom. These are communication tools. Slack. We use Slack for communication. Office 365. At my workplace, that's what we use. Microsoft Calendar, Teams. We have our meetings on Teams. So you can't be applying for remote work and you don't even know what a Teams is. You don't even know how to use Teams. So you need to begin to research what are the tools. Now, not just for your field alone, but for remote work. What are the tools that are relevant for remote work? Office 365 allows you to collaborate, most companies, a lot of companies in the United States use Office 365. Because with that, you can have a customized email address with that. You can get to collaborate effectively. You can get to work, effectively. In my company, I mean, God, I think we should be more than a lot in numbers. But every one of us, we use Office 360, and that's where we communicate. That's where we chat. That's where we make phone calls. Zoom, for instance, I have an account that my phone number is United States number on Zoom. Because if we want to call customers, for instance, we make use of Zoom, and the phone number is United States of America number. So you need to know how to use these tools. HubSpot, they use HubSpot to track your screen. So in my company where I work, HubSpot is installed on our system and it takes a screenshot of our screen every 10 minutes. So if your screen is idle, it's taking a screenshot of it. It takes a record of the number of clicks, of number of mouse clicks. So if you're not clicking your mouse, it's taking a record of it. It's taking a record of the number of keypad on your keyboard. I mean keypad touches. How many times did you press your keyboard in a day? HubSpot is taking a record of it. And you can't delete it because it's on your laptop, it's in your account with your employer as well. So at the end of the day, they will know whether you work or not because it's taking a screenshot of your screen every time. And if you're familiar with Upwork does that as well, but not as detailed as HubSpot, because HubSpot will say the number of times you use your mouse, number of times you press your keyboard. There is a record of that. So you want to be on your seats during your work hours. We also Google Workspace is also a remote work tool. Everyone, I believe some of us, many of us, we're familiar with Google Workspace. It allows us to collaborate, and there is much more in Google Workspace than Google Meet, than Gmail. I mean, there's lots much more. Google Drive, it allows us to collaborate on documents. So we can be working on the same document at the same time. There's Google Keep. So I mean, there's so much Google app than what you know. So there is need to make research on that as well. Then there's Loom. Loom is for recording videos. to show someone. So if I need to record the video and show you my screen, or to teach you something, I make use of Loom. If I need to, sorry, I don't know. So let me just show you what Loom looks like so that you can have an idea of all of this thing, right? So this is Loom, for instance. Okay, so this is Loom. This is my, let me know. Can you see my other screen?
No, please. You might need to change. Just go on that tab
Okay, okay.
and share it instead.
Okay, so let me share this now. Right. Okay. Okay, so this is what Loom looks like. Now, this is my client in the United States. I need to work on something for her, and she recorded the Loom to show me what I need
Okay,
to.
on the sales page,
So
by
you
all
can hear
means,
her
feel
voice.
free to use your creative flair.
So that's
And
what Loom looks like. So you need the of all of some of these apps if you're looking for remote opportunities, because some of these interviews will ask you what remote tool can you use. So so you must be able to tell them these are the remote tools that I can use, right? All right. So let's move fast. Let's move fast. Okay. Then Asana is for project management. We use Trello as well. Clockify is for time monitoring as well. TeamViewer, with TeamViewer, you can take over my screen. I can take over anybody's screen with TeamViewer. Notion, LastPass is for the password sharing, and the Dropbox, Discord, just to mention a few. Now, let's go to this now. Tools for applying for remote jobs. Because if you're looking for remote jobs as on-site jobs, optimized resume. The first thing you need to ask yourself after you've done a skill mapping, a career mapping, is my resume optimized? When you want to write your resume for remote work, you need to highlight, remote specific skills and experience using ATS friendly formatting. Every resume for some organizations anyway, before your resume gets to human being, it has gone through ATS. So ATS will screen your resume out. It doesn't even get to the recruiter. It doesn't get to the human resource person. ATS will screen it out if they are not keywords. So when you are okay, don't let me jump, before myself. So use AI tools to review your CV, like Resume Worded. So if you know Resume Worded, can I see it in the chat? If you know Resume Worded, let me just go to the chat. If no Resume Worded, can you put it in the chat? Use AI tools like Resume Worded. Resume Worded is used for scoring your resume. So when you put your resume in Resume Worded, yeah, it shows you that it shows you the score of your resume. So for some people, 4%, that's the score of their resume. So how do you apply to remote job? How do you apply to job with a 4 over 100 score? So you need to use, I have Resume Worded opened on my system, but because of time, I might not be able to show that. So just put Resume Worded and upload your CV to tell you what your score is and to tell you where to make corrections. You need a cover letter tailored to the job you are applying for. Don't use a generic cover letter. Don't use a generic resume. As a matter of fact, for each job I apply for, I have a resume for it, because you keep tweaking your resume for the job you're applying for. So each resume must be tailored to the job. It can be customer representative, but the requirements can be different. The keywords can be different. So you need to ensure that your resume, take your time to go through the job description. Take your time to go through the requirements and tailor your resume to that particular job, not general customer representative job. I have a winning cover letter that demonstrates understanding of the company's remote culture and showcase, if you don't have remote work experience, showcase work experience, that are experiences that are relevant to the job you're applying to. Then your LinkedIn profile. I know that a lot of people are not, I'm not maximizing LinkedIn profile as they should, but LinkedIn profile is tool for applying for remote jobs, because some remote jobs would have you include your LinkedIn profile in your application. And if you don't have a good LinkedIn profile, you may not be able to submit the job application. So you need to work on your LinkedIn profile. That is another class on its own. LinkedIn optimization, your headshots, your headline, the intro, the experience. Your LinkedIn profile must be optimized when if you're looking, at applying for remote jobs. Now, what are the top platforms to find remote jobs? Upwork is very common. I tell you, and people are still getting jobs on Upwork. One of my colleagues just got a job last week on Upwork, $7 per hour, virtual assistant. The client is in Canada, so people are still getting jobs on Upwork. We work remotely, remote.co, FlexJob. FlexJob is paid. You have to do subscription to access jobs on that board. Andela and TalentQ, that is for people in software development. LinkedIn, you can get jobs on LinkedIn. You can search for jobs on LinkedIn using the Brilliant search. Let me quickly show us, let me go back to the screen. Let me show us how to use LinkedIn for remote jobs. Okay. LinkedIn is another place to get remote jobs. Sorry. Let me show my LinkedIn profile. Okay. All right. So let me know when you can see my LinkedIn profile. All right. So can you say?
Yes, please.
All right. So this is how to search for jobs on LinkedIn. Let me use virtual assistant for example. So you come to the search bar and to virtual assistant and remote. So now I did this already. So it's going to bring you remote virtual assistant role. And it's going to bring you related virtual assistant role. Then you can now put destination, virtual assistant, and United States, virtual assistant, and Canada, virtual assistant, whatever. But this is how, for instance, to use LinkedIn to search for remote role. They call it the Brilliant search. So you use and, you use or, you use with, you just use one conjunction to be able to search for the remote role. Yeah. So let me go back to my slide. Okay. We have Twitter. For me, whenever you see me on Twitter, I'm actually looking for jobs. I don't do anything on Twitter than job. I don't do that. So Twitter is a place to get remote jobs. I mean, a lot of remote jobs have been posted there. A lot of remote jobs. The same way you just go to the search box, whatever you're looking for, data entry, remote opportunities, remote jobs in data entry. And there's some people that you follow on Twitter that are always posting remote opportunities. So there are a lot of remote jobs on Twitter as well. Facebook groups, there are Facebook groups that are just go. Social media is a place to get remote jobs. So it depends on what you're doing on social media. For me, social media is a tool for me. It's not a food. I don't go to social media to consume anything. I go there to search for opportunities. I go there to search for courses. I go there to search for job. I go there to get ideas. When I'm done with that, after getting the jobs that I was looking for, I deleted my Twitter. I don't have any business there. My Facebook, after getting my job, I deleted Facebook. So what I have now is just LinkedIn and IG. And that is because one of the clients that I work for, I needed to do something on an IG page. And that's why I have IG on my phone at the moment. If not, my only business is LinkedIn because that's my professional profile. So another place to get remote job is Talent Pool. That's the spelling. So this, for instance, you can send them a code email. They recruit for companies outside the country. So you can just send a code email to them on LinkedIn, a well-crafted code message. This, I can do this. This is my CV attached. I've done this. And just send it to them because they have a database of people that that are looking for jobs. So they are able to pair you with interested clients. Employ my clients that I work for, I have them on Employ. 2 clients on Employ. Employ 2 is owned by a Nigerian, but in the United States of America. Go to employ.co, create an account, virtual assistant, designer, create an account, submit your resume. So when there is any opportunity, they will pair you with clients, dynamic jobs, inclusively remote. They post remote jobs. You can follow them on LinkedIn. You can also go to their website and subscribe so that you can get remote jobs alerts. Remote tax, you can follow them on LinkedIn as well, so that you can get to know when they post. Up to Staff, you can also get remote jobs on Up to Staff. My Wava, you can also get remote jobs. Indeed, you can get remote jobs on Indeed. You can get remote jobs on Glassdoor. So these are platforms that we really need to maximize for remote job opportunities. Now, application tips. I think I've explained this already. Tailor each application. Customize your resume. You may need to keep changing title. For instance, if you're a customer rep, you have a general resume, customer representative. Now you see a job that is customer success. Don't apply to that same job with customer rep. Change the title. Then look at your resume and match your skills to the job description. Don't send a generic resume to all the jobs. So take your time, match your skills to the job description. Take the word, ensure that when you're applying for a job, ensure that the keywords in the job description is in your resume, because that is what ATS will look for. If you don't have that keywords, I was privileged to work with someone that was recruiting for African Union, right? Where she was recruiting for a top position, and I was working for her as a VA, and she showed me the recruitment method. She showed me, look for these particular words, governance, because they had over 1,000 resume. So we just go to Dropbox and we type government, for example. All the resume that doesn't have government, they are not going to be screened. They are going into trash. So they are not stressing to see. So when you're applying for jobs, look at the job description and take the keywords from the job description and put it in your resume, so that when they are going through it, there are keywords there, and tailor it to that job. Then talking about your cover letter too, don't use a generic cover letter. Don't just pick cover letter from online and send it. No. Applying to a particular job can take you 2 hours because you want to be sure that your resume is on point. Then after submitting that, okay, so let's talk about this. Ensure you have tools on your resume. The job that I got for the part-time client that I do 20 hours with, she only took my resume because she saw ClickUp, which is a project management tool. She saw ClickUp on my resume and she uses Asana. So she said, oh, if I can use ClickUp, I can use Asana. That is why she picked me for that job. She was not even interested in any other role, but because I could use ClickUp. And if you ask me, have I ever been on any job that I use ClickUp? No. I learned ClickUp by myself. So you can go online on YouTube. If there's any tool relevant to your industry, go on YouTube. There are different videos there to teach you, and download the trial version so that you can learn it, so that you can have the experience, and so that you can put it in your resume, because that's what some people look for. At the time, we needed a digital marketer, and I was sent a couple of resume as a project manager to go through them. I saw the resume, but I picked a particular lady because she had listed some things in her experience. Email marketing, we are looking for email marketer. So she listed it there in her skills. She's good in email campaign. We're looking for someone that could handle campaign. So I picked her because she listed it in her skills. I picked her because of that. So you want to be sure that you have the relevant skill listed in your resume and in your cover letter. Then after submitting that, then if your department or whatever you do has portfolio, ensure to attach your portfolio. If you're a content writer, you should have a portfolio, and there are different websites to host your portfolio. You can use Canva for your portfolio. You can use Google Drive, yes, for your portfolio. You can use Maystack for your portfolio. Now, this presentation that I did now, I used AI to do this presentation. So there are different AI tools within 2 minutes, it created all of these that you see. It created my slides for me. All I needed to do was to take the content, put it into the AI, create slides for me, and came up with the slides that you can see within 2 minutes. If I wanted it to be a website, I would just choose website and I will have a website. So if you need a portfolio, there are free tools you can use. You can use Notion for your portfolio. You can use Canva, and Google Drive can also host your portfolio. For instance, as a virtual assistant, as a content writer, you need a portfolio, because if you're applying to jobs, you need to attach your portfolio to all the jobs you're applying for, because they want to see what you've done before. Now, not experience, what you've done. If you have the pictures, put the pictures in there. If it's something that, put the pictures in there so they can see. Then after submitting your application, you can follow up. Just a polite follow-up email. I applied to this job. I just wanted to check this and that. Just follow up if they've not gotten back to you. A lady, she applied to a job. A lady followed up. They rejected her for the job, right? And she sent a message to them. Thank you. I love your feedback. Though you did not pick me for the job, I will look forward to working with you in the future. And do you know, they go back to that lady and invited her for an interview because of that follow-up email she sent. Though she was rejected. Now, after being called for interview, prepare for interview. It's a remote work. It's a remote interview. You need to prepare for your interview. You need to ensure that there is a professional background. They shouldn't be seeing clothes in your background. They shouldn't be seeing a bonnet in your background. No, there's proper lighting and there's a stable internet connection. Now, when you get to interview, like I said earlier, focus on the results you've achieved. They tell you to use the STAR method. What was the situation? What was the action? What was the result? Focus on, not I work here. No, when I was working here, there was a problem. I brought this solution. I did this, and just go straight, to the point. Now, what are the common? I'm trying to run with time. So, what are the common challenges that Nigerians face when it comes to remote work? Time zone difference. Someone lost a job opportunity because of time zone difference. They gave her a particular time that was France, and because she's in Nigeria, she couldn't calculate the time very well. But then she was coming for interview. The interview was over. The opportunity was over because she missed the time difference. So you need to be able to calculate your time very, very, very well. So my full-time role is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. CST, like Central Time. In my own time, that's 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So it's sticked in my head, as in I don't want to forget it. So that I'm not coming to work 3 o'clock and I realize, oh, that's 9 a.m. their time already. So, and those people, they don't take time before they report you. Another problem is the network problem. So if you're really looking for remote work, then you need to also consider how strong is your network. Just 2 weeks ago, myself and my colleague were reported because of network issues. Like I said, the company that recruited us is owned by a Nigerian, right? Based in Nigeria, in Lagos. So they sent an email to the company. Kemi and David had network issues today because of the weather. They tried to keep up with their tasks, but the network did not allow them work. They sent them an email because they don't really have network issues over there. And because of that, the company I work with, always, when they employ you, they give you a loan of 5G router. So everyone now in my location, there's no 5G router. That is why I don't have 5G. But they tell you to go check your location. What's the 5G router what's the 5G network that is available there? If it's Airtel, they buy it and they send it to you, irrespective of your location. And they remove it from salary because they understand that a lot of people in this company lost their job due to network issues. Because you can be in the middle of a meeting. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It doesn't work. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? It doesn't work. And because we are using Microsoft 365, when network goes, it shows that you are offline. It shows that you are not online. If they call you, it's not going to ring. So they know it's network issue. The first time I was going to be onboarded, I was in the training. I was being trained on how to use the portal. And the portal could not open. Me already knew it was network problem. My trainer was thinking, is it location? They need to give me VPN access. And they brought in the IT guy on the call, and the guy did all he could do. I should clear my data history, but it still wasn't working. It wasn't loading at all. And the guy told me, click on fast.com, which is speed test, to know what my speed test was. Fast.com did not even load. Not to talk of them seeing my speed test. It did not even load. And the guy told them, it's a network, it's not a website. And so that day I was I was literally shaking that, oh God, am I going to lose this opportunity? And but thank God I actually pray, God, let network be good today. Every morning I wake up, God, let network be good, because everything we do is on the internet. So you really want to, consider that as well. Then unstable power supply is another challenge that we face here. Because if you're using system, if you're using laptop, you need to be online during your work hours. So there can't be an excuse that there's no power, there's no this. So my company, for instance, gives solar inverter as a loan, and they remove it from your salary because they understand the importance, of power supply. I'm trying to run fast so we can take question now. Conclusion: remote work is the future of work. So you need to seize the opportunity. I'm glad to tell you that there are remote opportunities out there, but you need to position yourself, right? Position yourself. LinkedIn, connect with people on. That's why I said that LinkedIn optimization is another class, and I'm hoping that the leadership of the church will be able to organize that, because I was speaking with someone last week. I was advising her, okay, you need to get on LinkedIn to get internship jobs, intern opportunities, because she just concluded a training of front-end development. You can get it on LinkedIn, and she doesn't even know how to use LinkedIn. And I'm wondering, at this age and time, do you know how many opportunities people are getting on LinkedIn? A friend of mine, someone reached out to on LinkedIn. Oh, we see your profile is so good from United States. Would like to work with you. Can you when will we be available for a call? LinkedIn. LinkedIn, look, that lady gave a testimony in church. Which was that? Was it workers' meeting? And she said it was on LinkedIn. Someone reached out to her. I've had people reached out to me on LinkedIn too for remote opportunities. And if people are not reaching out to you, you can also reach out to them on LinkedIn. So you connect with LinkedIn optimization is a different class. You connect with people in your space. Send them code emails. It's nice to connect with you and this and that. And I've had people that landed internship opportunities, paid opportunities on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a powerful tool, and some jobs would have you, like I said, submit your LinkedIn profile, and they go to check your LinkedIn profile, and if they can't see relevant posts, you don't have headshots, you don't have a bio, you don't have a portfolio, a project you've done, people have not given you recommendations on LinkedIn, they will not even consider you for the job, because LinkedIn is like the public resume. LinkedIn is like your public profile. So they will go there and get. So you want to be sure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized, is very, very optimized. And that is a different class, on its own. And there's a final tip that I'm going to give. We are Christians here, and it's a church that organizes it. To be sincere with you, I just want to share this with you, right? As the extra, because the scripture said that wise virgins and the foolish one add oil, and we can equate that to your CV, to your resume, to your portfolio. They had oil in their lamp, so they shouldn't be going extra. But the extra, right? You need to find an extra on everything you're doing. After you've done all of this, look for the extra to do. I did a confession, I did a confession for remote jobs, very short, it's straight to the point. I wake up every morning and I confess I get opportunities outside the borders of Nigeria and Africa. It's already in my head. Every morning I do that. And I tell you, within a month of doing that, I got 5 remote opportunities. No, my husband said 3. I got 5 remote opportunities. One wanted me to work with her for 40 hours, another 20 hours, another 20 hours, another 10 hours. That's 90 hours. And I've got a full-time role that is 40 hours. That's 130 hours per week. do I even cope with that? Then I met one of the client I'm working for. I needed to meet with our website developer. The guy is in Canada. And after the first day of meeting with him, the second day he's telling me he wants to employ me as his project manager. So that's like about 6 opportunities. But I'm sharing with you the extra that I did. I did a confession for my for my remote career, for my remote goal. So remote work is the future of work. There are a lot of opportunities there. So seize the opportunity, reach out to it, and keep the work. Um, I think Mr. John, do I say a few minutes?
Well, thank you
So
very much for coming.
I
Thank you
paid
so much.
for.
Alright. Okay. Yeah, let's take that.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Yeah, okay, yeah. So you can go to IG, search for work with Mide from home. Monthly, that's why I said remote work is hard work. She charges 5,000 monthly and she posts remote jobs in WhatsApp group. I paid for it, right? And we were up to 800 in the group, 5,000. And she put remote jobs every day for 30 days in a month. If you didn't get a job, you want the next month to renew it again. Like I said, you just have to do the work, but there are opportunities out there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You've covered a lot today, beginning from why we need to look at remote opportunities to building up the skill to be able to land remote opportunities to preparing with, understanding what tools are relevant for my career path. So, uh, on the remote landscape, what is my career path and what are the skills I need to build to land jobs there? And then identifying the places where we can land those jobs. You've listed a number of them, which makes it really easy to begin to look at all of this. I think that it would be nice to be able to answer questions, right? But at the same time, we also do not want this conversation to linger. If you're listening so far and you have had a question, I believe that you would have shared it on the comment section of this call. Um, so I've not seen any question that stands out now. The question about whether the material for the session will be shared, sincerely, I wouldn't want to put our facilitator on the spot for to share that. If she's willing to share that, we can walk around that and make that public later on. However, we'll also try to see how that the conversation today will get online so that you can revisit the video and watch. Right? Uh, just in the next minute or two, I would want to see if we can get somebody to share their remarks of appreciation and one thing that they learned, and we'll just bring this to a close. I know that would have liked to linger and ask what questions do you have here and there, but I imagine that if those questions existed, would have seen them on the chat. So I'm moving on to taking an appreciation and a comment for of what someone has learned. We can always build up on this conversation. So who is going to do that for us? Who's going to volunteer to show appreciation and say something that you found today to add to your skills, your tool set? You can indicate with a show of hand. Anyone? We have quite a number of people. We hit at number 28 at some point on the call. We still have over 20 persons aside myself and the facilitator. So who is going to do this? Who is going to represent everyone and say thank you and something you found out today? I see Dorcas as unmuted. Matt, do you want to speak to us?
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone on this call. I really want to say thank you to the church for doing this. It actually means a lot for for a person like me that is actually looking out for other opportunities. And ever since I joined, because I joined like 5 minutes late, ever since I joined, I just kept on using my sniping tools to be screenshotting the outline she was sharing, because I definitely know that still have to go and study more, make more research for myself also. But I'm really grateful for this opportunity because it has been helpful. No doubt about it. Thank you so much. God bless you,
Thank
ma'am.
thank you so much, man. Would you mind sharing with us what's your career path on this remote journey?
So basically, I'm not on any remote job yet. I'm not on any
Okay.
remote job yet. I work
Is
as a
there one?
customer service representative in a company.
Okay. So are you looking to take that remote?
Hoped and wish to get a remote job anytime soon, but definitely I know I have to work on myself also too.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. We quite appreciate you. I said it at the start of the conversation. There will be work. Myself too. I have some takeaways from this conversation. All right, and this is where we'll bring it to a close. All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Oluwakemi Esonloa.
Thank
Your
you, sir.
husband is raving, pouring all the love. Well, it is good though. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining. Please enjoy the evening and let's get to work. See you on the other side of progress.